What is your biggest lesson learned from 2021? I want to share with you today what I found to be my greatest lesson of 2021. This year has been a year of tremendous growth and evolution for many of us. And if you're not familiar with the signs and symptoms of growth, let me share with you a few of them. If you experienced a questioning of long-held beliefs that maybe you've had since you were a child, maybe you began to question some of the authority figures you used to respect and admire. Maybe you saw things that no one else around you could see. Maybe you found that you lost your voice, your creative expression. And maybe things in your life, in the area of friendships, deep relationships, there was loss, a grieving of the old, a questioning of what am I even doing on this planet? Maybe you had some charged and activated conversations with people you knew and even didn't know, questioning your own beliefs and why you think the way you do. Maybe you were confronted with your deepest fears. Maybe you experienced challenges that you felt you couldn't turn to anyone to help you through. These are just a few examples that we go through on our journey of being human. Sometimes they take us into a period where we feel numbed out by the world, alone, with no one to turn to. We begin to lose trust. We begin to lose our grounding, our stability. These times can be confusing, but they are part of the journey of growth. And sometimes it doesn't feel good along the way. But there's something happening deep on a soul level during these times. There's something that activates your soul on a deeper level that takes you through the portals which help to open up a greater awareness of your inner world and the world around you. These moments are so pivotal to our evolution. Those moments where we get to die to our old ways of being, old patterns of behavior that don't serve us anymore. We find ourselves in between who we used to be and who we are becoming. It's the next level version of you. And just like any growing pains we experienced along our journey, this is no different. We are literally shedding, like a snake sheds its skin. We are shedding the old ways, grieving our old way of being, and learning to trust that inner voice inside ourselves that knows what we need. We are shedding the mask, our protection mechanisms, and we're truly opening up our hearts to a greater understanding of love. And by love, I don't just mean love of another, but love of the journey being here on the planet, fully present in your body and fully in awe of all that transpires along the path filled with unknowns. A respect for the journey, the confusion, the acknowledgement that what you are experiencing is important to your soul's growth. If any of these signs or symptoms are characteristics of some of the challenges you have been navigating in 2021, I want you to know that you are not alone. The past 2 years have turned our world inside out. And everybody is reacting the best they know how. Some of you are very aware of what is happening on a planetary level. Some of you are hoping things go back to the way they were. And some of you are looking forward to what these changes will bring to humanity in our near future. But wherever you find yourself, know that you are exactly where you need to be. As a humanity, we are being offered an opportunity to do real deep inner work, to heal the wounds of our past, to clear the weight from our shoulders, so we can move beautifully into the future, free, open-hearted, and available to what life will bring us. You are being guided into a world of new possibilities for all of us. As a whole, our bodies are being prepared to handle more light coming into the planet. I always refer to light being information and darkness, lack of information. And that's all it really is. With more light hitting the planet, our bodies get to attune to a greater frequency of truth and love. Light can be blinding for many as well. It can be a shock to your system. And it can bring exposure to areas of heaviness, dense, shadowy elements of life, things that are hidden. This can look like trauma on a personal level, unresolved wounds, traumas of our past, things we have long lost, buried in the recesses of our mind. And it can also look like corruption in the external world. So this time period can feel very chaotic, and it is. But it's chaotic for a reason. Because as a whole, we are being challenged to look at the dark and integrate it into our being. As hard as it may be sometimes. But this is the process that we are each individually being called on And some of us are going through this period now. Some have already gone through this. Many of us will go through many more opportunities of being exposed to parts of life that maybe we weren't prepared for. And this is why I speak so much about the importance of slowing down and creating more space in your life. I know we live in a culture that really rewards you for the busier you are, the more productive you are, and the more you accomplish, the more you achieve. And I get it. I've been caught up in that whole world my entire life. But I think 2021 really showed all of us that the transition we're all going through right now is bigger than any one of us. But it definitely requires the participation of each of us. And so as we move into 2022, I invite you to take a look at what areas in your life may need more of your presence, more of your attention, more nourishment, gentleness, kindness, care. What's no longer serving your well-being? And where might you be finding resistance in letting go of that which no longer serves? "2022 has so much in store for each of us. And it's so beautiful if we allow ourselves the opportunity to accept this inner transformation that is calling us home, calling us back into our bodies, calling us to purge old ancestral wounds, and calling us to witness and observe behavior patterns which may not be beneficial for where we're going. We're in the midst of birthing a beautiful new age. We are cleansing out the old secrets and bringing rise to truth and greater wholeness, greater love, greater inner stability. And so when the world feels like it's speeding up, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to actually slow down. to slow down and to create that inner stillness, and to be that beacon of light in the midst of the dark, the unknown. To cultivate patience, first for yourself, honoring where you are and who you are, and trusting that there's actually nothing more you need to do to attune to who you are, but just to allow it to unfold. To have faith in the unraveling of the old wounds that you no longer need to hold on to. I am dedicating my 2022 to the year of presence, attuning to my body, listening to its needs, when I need to rest, when I get to follow inspired action. And deeply listening so that I know the difference between inspired movement and a desire to keep up with the pace of the world. There's a difference. And when I slow down long enough, I can feel the difference in my body. One feels like nourishment, and the other tends to feel like exhaustion. It feels good to learn how to really attune to what your body needs to be self-sufficient and self-sourcing in the world. To turn your focus from outward focus to inward. To allow all those around you to manage their energies during these times in the way that best serves them. And to celebrate your choices for what you need to honor your body during these times. And this is how we're going to move through together. We're going to learn to listen. We're going to learn to be present. We're going to celebrate these times, no matter how challenging they get. Because this is bigger than any one of us. This is about the evolution of our souls. This goes beyond our physical existence and extends outwardly in the unseen world. You are so much more than you were ever told. And I honor you in your strength. I honor you for your willingness to look at, witness, and integrate past wounds. I know it's not easy, but this is the work that it takes to allow ourselves to find that sense of true soul freedom. One that is not dictated by the external world. And it takes so much nourishment, love, and care. And I wish I had somebody who could have walked me through this, starting from my near-death experience when my health collapsed and moving through years of recovery to sharing my story, a very traumatic story. To finally learning how to honor myself in the midst of sharing something very, very personal with others. But I'm so grateful for where I am now. I'm so grateful for the people who have come into my world with their knowledge and wisdom. These are beautiful times. If we open up our hearts to see the gifts that are available to us in each and every moment, and to trust that even when we feel alone, we are not. We have support all over, all over this galaxy. And you have support right here at home. Sometimes we just have to slow down our pace long enough and trust. So what did you learn for 2021? And how do you want to move into 2022? How would it feel to finally be free in your body? To finally begin to cultivate the life you've always wanted to lead. To explore your creativity and to see what else the world has to offer. We are moving into such powerful times. And while it's going to be bumpy along the way, we always have the power to come back into our body and to find the stillness, the seat of our soul, where our future selves are birthed, where our creative innovation gets seated. So I invite you to take out your journal or a piece of paper. And on one side of the paper, I want you to write down all the lessons you learned from 2021. And then on the other side, I want you to write your intentions for 2022. What would you like to create? Maybe it's more space to breathe. Maybe it's a new business venture that you've always wanted to begin. Maybe you want to start sharing your story and connect with others on a deeper level. Writing is one of the most powerful tools I've used in creating so much for my life. It's helped me move through deeply challenging times and create absolute miracles. And so I know how powerful it can be. I am wishing you a beautiful and graceful transition into 2022. There is so much waiting for you in the world. And sometimes we just need to know that somebody out there hears us, recognizes us, and sees us. And sometimes that's all it takes to create magnificent transformation in our lives. So let this transmission be an activation in your inner world. And I am wishing you a very, very happy 2022.